fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the in-space Ecliptor and Astronema 2-pack from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection from Hasbro. I'm not really sure why he's in-space Ecliptor and she's just Astronema. I don't know if that's a copyright thing or what, or why they're not both in space or both just their names, but whatever, it is what it is. Very excited for this 2-pack. It was an Amazon exclusive, so if you're looking for it, definitely check Amazon. But I'm just really excited to get a really nice Ecliptor figure. Yes, we're getting a second Astronema, but she is different from the first one, so we'll take a look at that. I'll do a comparison later on in the video. Packaging-wise, we have really great Tom Whalen artwork as usual. Got Astronema there, and Ecliptor looks really sharp over here on the side. Not too much going on the top or the bottom of the box, but we'll spin around and just have kind of a nice press photo there. Although I will say that the facial expression for Astronema on the back of the box has her smiling, which is definitely not what's going on with the figure inside, so that's kind of weird, but it's still a pretty cool little press shot there. Ton of effect pieces here for this set, so let's go ahead, let's get these guys out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. Here are the two figures out of the packaging. I'm going to put Ecliptor off to the side for a moment, and we are going to focus on Astronema. I think the head sculpt looks good. I think it actually resembles the actress. I think they did a pretty nice job there. Nicely painted as well. I like the pinkish purple hair. I think that looks pretty cool. She's got that kind of long braid there, as well as this necklace piece that's kind of loose so that can move around. Head's on a ball joint and a hinge, as per typical with the Lightning Collection, so you have decent range of motion, but it is limited a little bit by the hair. But you can still kind of have her look around and stuff. You have a hinge as well as a rotation in the shoulder, as well as a butterfly joint. You have a hinge and a rotation in the elbow, as well as a hinge and a rotation in the wrist. She's got a ball joint in the torso there, and you can see the armor this time around is actually molded in instead of just painted. You have a ab crunch there in the hip. You can kick forward, kick out to the side, but she does have the butt flap, so you can't really go back at all. You have a thigh swivel there. You have double jointed knees. And the left knee is not bad, but the right knee for mine is a little weird. You can kind of get it to ratchet like it's supposed to, but I don't know, it sticks a little bit. I'm kind of afraid that over time the plastic in this knee joint is going to give out. So hopefully that is not the case, but we'll see how it holds up. You have a swivel right above the ankle, as well as the typical hinge and rotation in the ankle. So pretty good articulation. You have this piece here on the thigh. If you don't want this on here, you can just pop this off. It really just stays on here by friction. It's not molded in or anything like that. But yeah, pretty good looking figure. I think she looks pretty cool. She does, of course, come with some accessories. She has her staff, which you can slide into her hand pretty easily. So that looks pretty good. Ecliptor fell in the background here. We'll move him out of the way. I believe this is the exact same staff that came with the other figure, but we'll do a comparison in a moment. She also has that same kind of boomerang accessory that the other figure came with, and you can kind of clip that on there. I appreciate that, but I feel like when you're handling the figure, that just really gets in the way and will pop off at the slightest provocation. But yeah, she looks pretty cool. She also comes with a closed set of fists. Let me see if I can get her to balance with the staff. The staff makes her a little bit front heavy, so she kind of wants to fall over, but if you just find the right balance of weight, it shouldn't be an issue. There we go. So she has a closed set of fists, and then she's got this kind of crazy, gigantic effect piece here that I guess you just kind of like feed on top of the staff. I mean, it's kind of neat. I'm not the biggest fan of these effect pieces, as you probably know if you've watched my reviews before, but that's okay, I guess. Kind of neat, kind of have some evil energy radiating from the staff. So, not too bad. So I also sometimes like to try to use the staff as kind of like an extra, point to keep her to stand up. So that's always nice. But let's go ahead, let's bring in the other Astronema here so we can do a comparison. get her staff to also help. I don't know why they don't like to stand that much, but... So first things that jump out, differences here, obviously the hair color and the armor. If we take a closer look here, let me see if I can zoom in some more. The face sculpts are definitely different. I like the newer one better. I think it definitely looks more like the actress. This one's not terrible, and it's painted nice, but I just think this one looks a little bit more like her. The hairstyles, though, are both good. I think they both look pretty great. She has this piece of armor on top, and you can see here that the armor in the abdomen is just painted on, whereas here it's textured. But you can also see that it is actually a completely different body sculpt because it's a little bit more slender here. And you can see that kind of the ab crunch is a little bit wider. You can tell here that it's a little bit slimmer. So I believe the entire torso is different. I think the legs are probably the same. And I think the arms are probably the same because I believe those arm gauntlets are exactly the same. They're just painted slightly differently. So probably the arms and legs are the same use, but the torso and the head are different. But I think it's kind of cool. I think it looks good. I mean, Astronema is a character that I think it makes total sense to have different looks for, because she's kind of famous for having several different looks throughout the series, especially hairstyles. But she also did have kind of an armored and then less armored look. So I think this totally works. Yes, you're getting the character twice, but it's two very distinct looks, so I think it makes absolute sense. And I really don't mind having two of her, because she has very different appearances throughout the show. So I think this is pretty cool. I do kind of think the newer figure is better, just in terms of sculpt and everything like that. I think the head sculpt's better. I think the abdomen is a little bit better. It's nice having that armor textured instead of just painted on. And overall, it just seems like a little bit better figure. So if you missed out on the first one, or if you're just looking for a better version, definitely grab this pack. But it's nice to get the better figure second. If the first one was better, I'd be more upset, because at least if you're going to update it, make it better. So at least they did accomplish that. Up next, we have Ecliptor, and he looks fantastic. They really did a nice job with this guy. So many paint applications, all of the green here, all along the back, even his knuckles are painted. Really, really well done. Now, he's probably a little larger than the Ranger figures, but not as large as an actual monster figure. So I'd probably put him around the same size as Goldar, something like that. But he just looks good. That head sculpt is fantastic. Those red eyes, beautifully painted. Really, really looks sharp. Head is on, I believe there's a hinge in there, but it could just be a ball joint. I've been trying to look. I don't really see a hinge, so maybe it is just a ball joint. You can tilt side to side. Look down, look up, certainly look side to side, no problem there. You can move the arms around. Now, he does have this piece here on his chest, which, you know, hinders the arm movement on this side a little bit. And the way they do the shoulder pads here, it's kind of like a big piece of softer plastic that's on a little hinge. So you can kind of move it out of the way if you want to move the arm up. Now, the arms, for me, don't really go up much higher than that, but they can move a little bit, and then this will come with it. If you swivel it, this piece will come with it. But like I said, it just hinders a little bit on this side. You have a swivel here in the bicep. He's got double jointed elbows. So let's get the other elbow joint to bend. It's a little tighter, but there we go. We got that. You have a swivel and a hinge in the wrist, and he does come with some alternate hands. We'll get to that in a moment. He's got the ball joint in here in the torso. Now, his ab crunch is a little weird in the way that I can't actually get it to ratchet. So it kind of moves, but then it just kind of snaps back, because I can't get it to actually click. So unfortunately, that renders it kind of useless. I'm assuming it's just mine. I'm hoping it's not an issue across all the figures. Now, I will say, of all of the joints of his to not really move that well, I don't personally use the ab crunches that much. But if you include the joint, it should work. So, you know, that's strike one, I guess. But the sword looks great. Really nice detail there. They did a great job with that. Both sides fully painted. Again, we have the elbow joint. He's got kind of a soft piece of plastic here for the gauntlet over the hand, which is different from this side. Really nice gold paint here on this like shackle piece. Kick pretty decently around here in the hip. You do, of course, have a thigh swivel. He's got really nice double jointed knees. Those are pretty fluid. And also the hinge down here in the ankle, as well as the rock side to side, is pretty fluid. So he's a really good figure. Really, the only problem I have is the ab crunch, but like I said, luckily I probably wouldn't utilize it that much, but It is a shame that it doesn't really work all that well on mine. But he still looks fantastic. He does come with some accessories. He comes with a lot of effect pieces. So, first off, he's got just kind of a closed fist hand. If you want to go ahead and use this for his right hand instead of his like sword holding hand. He's got this effect piece, which can wrap around the blade. So you kind of put this down here and then kind of wrap this around. Kind of very similar to the one that came with Goldar. And so you can kind of do something like this and wrap that around. And those are pretty cool. I actually think of all the kind of effect pieces they usually include, something like this I think works because it actually stays on the toy rather well. It's not going to flop around or fall off. So that's kind of cool. Plus the purple looks really good with the black and green. It's a really good color scheme there. So I do appreciate that effect piece. He's got this massive one that I'm pretty sure is just a reuse from that Draken figure they did. And the directions, or I should say the press photo on the back, because there aren't really directions, just kind of have him like standing like this. I just don't get how this is supposed to work. I don't understand what this one does. I guess maybe you just kind of put it like behind him to show maybe he's like powering up to Super Saiyan. I don't really know. I don't know what this does, but it's here. If you like it, if you can find a use for it, huzzah. I'm going to just throw it off to the side in a box and probably never look at it again. He's also got this lightning hand, which I actually think is pretty cool. So you would just swap that out for that hand. And I think that's actually a pretty cool effect piece. So I like that. But yeah, so he comes with those two effect pieces, the lightning hand and the closed fist. I will probably utilize none of them. But he's a good looking figure. He really does look good. Very happy to finally get a quality, solid Ecliptor. And we already know that there is the red version of Ecliptor coming as he appears in a small handful of episodes. But that'll be interesting. I'll be interested to see how that one works out because it's a really solid figure. I like this color scheme better personally, but the red one does look pretty good as well, so I'll probably end up picking that up. Yeah, he's a really good looking figure. He looks fantastic. I think this is a really solid 2-pack. I mean, even though you are getting a second Astronema, I think it's a better Astronema figure. I think the face sculpt looks more like the actress than the original one did. I know she doesn't have the armor, but the armor that is on here is molded in instead of painted. And I just think all around, it's a better figure. Yes, probably about half of it is the same figure as previous, but the torso and the head sculpt are definitely better. And if they're going to give me a second version of the character, I'm glad that they at least improved upon the figure. And like I said, Astronema had so many different looks during that show, it makes sense to have, you know, one or two different figures of her in the various getups. The other one has a different hair color and has the armor, and this has the less armor with a different hairstyle, so I'm very happy to add it to the collection. Ecliptor looks phenomenal. He looks amazing. Articulation's pretty good. I had trouble with the ab crunch on mine. Like I said, I hope that's not a line-wide problem. I hope that's just a QC issue with my specific figure. But that's the only thing I really have to complain about. Like I said, luckily it doesn't affect me personally because I don't personally use it that much. But if it's a problem with all of the Ecliptor figures, then that's not cool. But the sword looks great. All the accessories. He's got a ton of effect pieces. I don't personally care for them, especially that one I'm pretty sure they just stole from the Lord Draken. I think that was a PulseCon exclusive. I don't really get what that's supposed to do. I don't understand. I'm probably utilizing it wrong, and that's fine. I don't really care about effect pieces, but they're here. I do like the lightning hand. I think that's cool. I could see myself posing him with that. Otherwise, I don't really need them. These two figures are pretty great. I love the accessories that I have here with them. The weapons look fantastic. And this is definitely a pack to look for. So it is an Amazon exclusive. So if you're looking for this one, definitely check on Amazon.com. And like I said, we are supposed to get a red version of Ecliptor later on that I believe will be a fan channel exclusive. So if for some reason you don't want the 2-pack and you just want the Ecliptor figure, you could get that alternate version. Won't be in this color scheme, but you could at least get a version of the figure by itself later on. But I definitely recommend grabbing the 2-pack because both of these figures are pretty fantastic. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.